Hi, my name is Orina, and I thought that since many people don't know about the Wheel of Colors yet, I would give you a short introduction. So I prepared a traditional Wheel of Colors, and this is what it looks like. And I've also brought my personal Wheel of Colors to show you how these things play out individually. So the first thing you have to do to get your Wheel of Colors, which comes as a 34-page PDF for you, which has some general explanations about how the whole thing works, and then tells you what your personal colors mean in the place that they're at. The first thing you have to do to get your Wheel of Colors is to write down the numbers of 1 to 13 underneath each other. I've written them down here, but it is important that you write them down in a number, in an order that speaks to you, because we all have our own personal way of expressing. When I open the door, I do it a certain way, and you do too. And when you put on clothes, and when you stir the pot, and when you draw, and when you write, things come out of you in a certain way. And the same way, the numbers come out of you in a certain way. And we all have a different way of dealing with things. So it doesn't matter if you're somebody who sits down and writes them down one by one underneath each other. That's fine. Maybe you actually think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to keep the numbers that way. That's absolutely fine too. Or you write down one number and then another one and then cross it out and like move them around. You can also write all the numbers on a piece of paper. Each on a piece of paper, and then arrange them so that like whatever works for you, just so that you have an order of numbers underneath each other that speaks to you, that feels good to you. And then you can take a photo of it and send it to me, and I can prepare your personal Wheel of Color. And I will actually recommend that you pause this video and do this now. Write down the numbers, because it is very important that you're doing this unprepared. Because once you know, I mean, we've lived, once we know how it actually works, it's much easier to try to manipulate it because you want a certain outcome. And the beauty of this is that when you do this unprepared and you just write down the numbers and see what comes out without knowing how you're doing it, why you're doing it, how it really works, then it's the most genuine expression of yourself. And so the answers you will get will be the most accurate. So yeah, just pause the video now, write down the numbers, and then you can come back to the video and I will explain to you like each of these sectors represents a different part of our lives that we all have. We just approach the parts differently, and this is what the different colors stand for. So pause the video, write down your numbers, and then come back. I'll wait here. Good. I'm glad you did this. So this is mirrored because of the video, but this is the first color, which is red. And this is the second, and this is the third, and so like it goes the way around. And the core is the 13th color, and this represents our core, our being. And this is see-through, which is crystal, because the crystal, when all colors break, they become clear. And so if you have a crystal center, it means that you're interested in very many different things, that you like clarity and transparency. And I have a purple center, for example, and that means that my very core is about healing, about transformation, about mysticism, about endings, completion, closing cycles, and these sorts of things. So we each have a different center. And we also each have different colors and a different arrangement of colors here. And each color means something else depending, or like is playing out differently depending on the position that they're in. So the first color represents how we start a project, how we enter a new situation, and what we need in that situation. The traditional color for the first field is red, which means trust and faith and passion. So I have brown here as my first color, which means action and doing, which means to start a project, to do something, I need to do something, which is very, very true. And it helped me to actually find out about it in the Wheel of Colors, because it allowed me to just accept that fact about myself. Because until then, people have always told me, like, oh, you have to think first before you do something. And it's just something that doesn't work for me. I have to get into the action and then I can think. But without the action, I cannot think. So then we have the second color, which is about collaboration, how we come together with other people and how we collaborate with them. The traditional color here is yellow, which is emotions and support, which makes sense to be in this place. I, however, have green here, which is willpower, expression, like creative power. And you can ask all the people around me who know me well, if I don't want something, I'm not going to do it. And if I don't want to collaborate, like you cannot tickle me without me wanting to be tickled. Like there's no way. So as you see, like we each have different ways this plays out. Like you might have blue here, which is intuition, which we'll come to in the next, because this is the traditional place of the color blue. And the third, so we have how we start a project, how we work together with other people. And the third one is how do we finish? How do we keep our interest up? How do we collaborate? Like, how do we, finish a project, basically? So what do we need to keep our attention and to keep our interest so that the project helps us develop further? And for me, that is intuition. And this is also the classical place for intuition. So yeah, I need to know that I'm doing the right thing, basically, in order to follow through. And then we come to the fourth field, which is green in its traditional color. And green is the willpower that I had in number 2. It's also healing. And this is the field for healing. So we all heal in different ways. I have transparent here in the healing place, which means I need clarity, which is very true as well. So you can find out what you need to heal and to be healthy and to live a balanced life, basically. To be in balance is to be healthy and to find out what gets you there. Then we have the fifth color, which is pink, which is also what I have there, which is creativity. It's a field for creativity and it's a color for creativity. It explains, color explains how we express, how we do things, and the field shows us what we need in order to express creatively. For some people, this might be trust. They might trust themselves or feel like other people trust them to express themselves creatively. Other people need to listen to their intuition. So by getting your wheel of colors, you basically find out these things about yourself. And the PDF that you will get comes with a description of what it is that you're most likely experiencing because of the way that you arrange the numbers, because the numbers represent your subconscious way of dealing with the world. And then it also comes with some guidance, what you can do to bring in balance into each field so that you can use your powers most effectively. So the sixth field is the gift we share with others and how we come together with others, because it is our purpose and it is like our uniqueness is so valuable because we all are different and we all bring in different gifts. And when all these gifts come together, we're one whole world, earth, people. So knowing what it is that you have to give allows you to strengthen that power within yourself and to have maybe more self-confidence to present what it is that you want to share, that you can share. And so this is this field, the sixth field. Yes. My sixth field, for example, is gray, which is honor and respect. And it's also something that's very true about myself, because I just got a message from a friend actually not that long ago saying how when we were still living in Berlin and on the train, and he was so angry at the time, that even so many years ago, I was telling him how we have to respect everyone and everything around us. And every strength also comes with weakness, because I am very non-judgmental. I have always been. And this is good, because that is a gift that I have to give and that I'm happy to give. But on a personal level, that also sometimes means that I trust people that I shouldn't be trusting, because I don't judge. So we have to bring balance into each of these areas. And the wheel of colors, by recognizing ourselves in the descriptions, allows us to actually see what we're doing. And then we have the possibility to change it so that it's better for ourselves. Then we come to the seventh color, which is purple. And the color purple is about healing and about completion and about all of these things. And spirituality as well. And so this is a field on the wheel that is about safety, which makes sense, because if we are very deeply rooted in our spirituality, we don't have to be afraid. We know that life is good, that the world is good, that we are good, that everything is good, and that we can bring in more goodness and wholeness and enjoy it. So this is what the seventh color is about. For me, the seventh color is yellow, which means emotions and support, which means for me to feel safe, I need to feel supported. And again, with all of these lessons, there's one thing that it means for us, and then there's one thing that we need to learn, right? So if I want to feel safe, I can't just wait around for other people to love and support me, but I also have to find that love and support for myself within myself. And so knowing that this is what I need, I also have the ability to give myself what I need. And with that, and this is the beauty of this wheel, is that once you realize this, you can bring it to yourself. You can get the help you need, you can get the support you need, so that you can develop these qualities in yourself. And I've been lacking this feeling very much for a long part in my life. But as it is with everything, we first have to find it in ourselves to get it from others. So once I found it in myself, I can now also receive it from others, which empowers me even more. And then we come to the eighth color, which is orange, which is also orange, which is the color for learning and teaching. And so people with orange at their eighth colors came into this world to learn and to teach, which is what I'm doing. But other people come into the world to learn about intuition, or about willpower, or about creativity, or about relationships, or about healing and spirituality, or about love and support and emotions, or about trust. Like we each have our different learning that we have to do. And whatever we learn, whatever we don't have from like an intuitively or like a strong feeling about from the beginning of our lives, if we have to learn it, the good thing about it is that we also value it, and then we can share it, and we know how to acquire it, and so we can help others acquire it too. And then we come to the ninth color, which, or to the ninth field, which is gray, which is about honor and respect. And it's about self-respect. What do you need to respect yourself? What do you need to feel respected? Because only when we have that strength and that respect in ourselves, we can also fully respect other people around us. My color here is red, which means I need to trust and have faith. So this has been a very difficult, sometimes still is a very difficult lesson for me, but I'm figuring it out because I know what I need to do now. And then we come towards the end, we have the last three colors, and they are about our inner truth. So, or yeah, this one, brown, 12, 11, 10th field is about how we listen to our inner voice, how we receive our inner voice. Brown is for doing, because theoretically, if we didn't have any socialization, if we didn't have any training, we would just do as we think. So our inner voice would express automatically. But for many of us, that's not the case. And so we each have a different way to learn about our inner voice, and to hear it and to listen to it and to act accordingly. So for some people, it is through relationships. For some people, it is through trusting themselves and other people that they find their inner truth. For other people, it's through expressing their willpower, creative power. For me, let me just see there. Mine is white. So I find my inner truth through relationships, all kinds of relationships, which is sometimes very confusing because I always have to go out and experience things through the eyes of somebody else so that I can find my own truth and know what it is that I want or like or feel. Yeah, again, other people get it through their intuition. Meditation, we'll get to that in a second, or through learning, which is also very interesting. It's very interesting how this plays out and how everybody has their own wheel and everybody has their own way of doing things, and it's spectacular and fantastic to see how beautiful it all comes together. So then we have the last two colors, rose color. The 11th field is about sensory and extrasensory perception. So we have our inner truth, but we also have the truth of what's going on around us, what other people are doing, what's growing up in the world. Like, so how do we receive what is going on around us naturally without using the internet or TV or something like that, because we have the ability to get these things through our sensory and extrasensory expression. Like, you can smell fear, for example, but you have to train these abilities. But theoretically, we could. So again, we're all different. So everybody experiences the truth around them in a different way. Some through their intuition, through their willpower, through their creativity, through trust, through emotions, through meditation, through action, through honor and respect, through learning, through mysticism, spirituality, through clarity. Like, we all have our own ways to experience what is going on around us. And now I come to the very last color, which is basically how we experience the truth about ourselves. It has black here as a traditional color because traditionally people towards the end of their life, like, reflect and go in and see what has happened how it played out. And it's basically the cleanup people do before they die, right? But a lot of us don't want to wait anymore until we reach that time in our lives. We want to figure out things out right now. And so the Wheel of Color is just a really good way to help with that. Yeah, so this is Black meditation. We haven't talked about this very much, but you can also have Black like any other color in any of these fields. And it's the part that is introspective, that looks inside. And I have rose here as my last color, which is also so true. And it's my sensory and extrasensory perception, which is something I've just been starting to really develop and trust in the last couple of years, and which has changed my life completely. And I can see how this was the last bit that I needed to find in this world in order to feel complete and to feel like I have arrived. And what takes us a long time to find, we value the most. Like we had the learning here, but that's just the first step. So after we have reached, like overcome this one, and this is also a very interesting one because, you know, we've all been at this point in our lives where we think like, this is the, I don't know how many it's time that the same thing is happening to me. I'm always getting into these kinds of situations, and we always do until we figure out what it is that we need to do differently in order to change it. And so this is what this color has, was to overcome something that is repeating in our lives, that we need to learn, obviously, because if we don't, we come into the same situation again and again. And then this is basically the last bits and pieces that we're picking up to bring it all together, so that knowing about all of these parts about ourselves, we can actually live in harmony, find inner peace, find calmness, and enjoy our lives and live in harmony with the other people around us to be successful, because we know who we are and what we're meant to do, what we can do. And we nourish these qualities, and we also make sure that we get what we need in life. So this is the beauty of the Wheel of Colors. And you can just try it out for yourself. You've written down your numbers, just take a photo and send it to me. And then I will send you your Wheel of Colors. It's a very interesting, it's a very exciting thing. And yeah, it's a lot to learn about ourselves, and it's a fun thing to do because it gives us more clarity and helps us to actually be who we are, be our authentic selves, shows us who we are so that we can embrace ourselves. And I hope that's something that you want to do. And I'm also happy and available for consultations so that I can tell you a bit more about what that means for you. And I'm also offering a course, the I Am Creator School, which is a 12-year program, but you can also buy the single courses, which basically is 12 different topics of the year as well, that we talk about to bring clarity and empower ourselves to live the life we want to live with joy and love and excitement and beauty. So I wish you a lovely day. I'm excited for you to use this opportunity to see yourself in a new way and to be able to use that to fast forward your life, to be able to enjoy all you have and all you can be. So I wish you a lovely day. Bye-bye.